Well, hello there, loves. Welcome to a speed build on my channel, and welcome to Cove Cottage. Cove Cottage is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, very quintessentially British seaside cottage. We're in the world of Brindleton Bay. Again, my last speed build was in Brindleton Bay, and I kind of got inspired from this lot in particular. This lot is really lovely. It's just the one over from where I built, so it's right by the sea. But it's got a really lovely backdrop to this. It's got a really nice like bridge and waterfall in the background that you can see there. I just love it. And I was like, I'm going to build here, and I want to do something to kind of coincide with the latest is it Cottagecore trend that's going on? Sorry, I just had to cough. So I wanted to build something, and I didn't want to leave you guys empty-handed while I'm away on vacay. So this is what I came up with, and it's cute. It's really, really sweet. I had to fiddle around with the roof quite a bit. I didn't get the roof perfect on camera either. I had to go off and do it because, you know, the roof has been an absolute pain in the ass for a very long time now. It's been very annoying, but it appears to have been fixed in the latest update. The curvatures and stuff are supposed to be working. I have yet to test this out. So if you guys would let me know if it is actually working properly, because I'm not going to be able to know because I'm away. And if I sound half asleep at the minute, it's because it's 8 a.m. in the morning and I'm having to do a voiceover at 8 a.m. And I am not a morning person in the slightest. I hate them. I hate them with a vengeance. But I needed to get this done because, yeah, I'm going to be away. I'm going to be away. I absolutely landscaped the tits off of this build. We go into debug and get so many flowers, and it just looks so pretty. It looks so pretty from the front, from the back as well, from the side even. But I really wanted to go to town with the landscaping here. Really wanted this. Oh, I don't know. I can just imagine this being in the countryside or by the sea like it is now, with all of these beautiful flowers. I didn't want it to necessarily have a massive back garden. We end up doing a small back garden, just enough space for the sim who's living here to grow her. I think I planted blackberries. Yeah, I did. I planted blackberries at the back. And at the front, there was no planting going on whatsoever, apart from just regular landscaping from debug, so she doesn't have to water all of the flowers that she's got. I wanted them to look very kind of like a wild meadow flower at the front. So I used a mixture of all sorts of things, but we'll talk about that a bit further as we get into the video. I'm half asleep. How are you all doing? I hope you've had a good week so far. This is coming out on Friday. And I'm recording this on a Wednesday before I leave. We're going to be making a move soon down to Cornwall. Camping out in a tent, even though there has been storm warnings. So if I don't return, it's because I've blown into the sea. Or my tent's disappeared. Not looking forward. I like being in a tent when it's raining. I find it really cozy, but I'm not looking forward to setting up a tent in the rain. Yes, and I've still got to pack most of my stuff yet, and we're leaving in like 2 hours. But I knew I finished this speed build like last night around about 1 a.m. No, that's a lie. I probably finished the build around about midnight. But I actually had to edit the video ready to voiceover in the morning. So I probably didn't finish like getting everything ready until kind of 1 a.m. But I don't know. I whenever I'm building in The Sims, time seems to fly by, especially if I'm just building by myself and not with you guys, like in Let's Build or on stream or anything. It always seems to just fly by because I'm either like listening to a podcast or watching some YouTube videos while I'm doing it. And I love it. I love doing it that way. I really do. I love building anyway, but that's one of my favorites. It really is. Now, ignore the windows going in. The green looks good, but we actually end up changing a lot of the window tones as I go into the interiors because I really wanted the interior to be very light and airy and very cottagecore. So the warmer toned windows and the green from the inside were just looking a little bit weird. So I end up muting the window tones down to a bit more of a lighter aesthetic, and it just suits it a lot better. It really does. I put a lot of details on the front of the house as well, just to really bring it to life. But it's a cool layout as well. I would say the cottage is a really nice layout. You could get a family of 3 in here, I would imagine. 4 at a push. You could get a family of 4, just with maybe the kids sharing a bedroom. I've actually made one of the bedrooms into like a crafting room. So I did use quite a bit of the nifty knitting pack in this one, which is a shocker because, as you guys probably know, I don't really like that pack at all. The aesthetics of it just make me wince and the colours just make me cry. But it still looks good. It still looks good, especially in this build. It kind of like fit with the theming. And yeah, I enjoy it. So here we are, just about to start on the landscaping. I made sure that the house was absolutely littered in yellow flower, and it just looks really cute. I was going to call this like Honeysuckle Cottage, but I think I've already called a cottage that before. So Cove Cottage was the name that I came up with afterwards, because it is kind of in a little cove area in Brindleton Bay. And the only way to get to this is to walk under a bridge, I think, to get to this place. Such a cute area, it really is. I'm looking forward to actually building Brindleton Bay for my Let's Build the Worlds. I'm kind of looking forward to doing it. Really am. I'm looking forward actually to getting into some normal worlds where we don't have to like kind of have the fantasy element. I really want to play around with some characters and stuff again. Even though I'm having so much fun with Glimmerbrook, I'm ready for some normality and not all the magic that's been going on my channel recently. But I think we've only got like 3 or 4 lots left with Glimmerbrook. So within the next month, I'm sure we'll be on to the next one, which is going to be Strangerville as well. I think I've mentioned this quite a few times, but we're going to be building Strangerville up. And we're going to try and keep it as realistic as possible with Strangerville. But I do want a few families to be aliens. I love that sentence. We want to keep it realistic, but I do want some aliens flopped around. Going to get a really cool storyline going for that as well. But yeah, here I am using these debug stepping stones that came with get to... Oh no, are they base game? Oh, they must be base game. I don't see a logo on them. So yeah, they're base game. And I just do a full path. I really wanted this really long path up to the cottage itself because I wanted the full impact of flowers and foliage to be the main impact in the front. And I think it really worked. And what I did was kind of lift up the terrain around it, like the actual path itself, like kind of enveloped it. And then I used the edges of the path to plant even more flowers. But I do go over the whole lot with that gorgeous debug grass that we all use. And I use the tool mod to make it sink into the terrain itself. And it just looks really cool. Looks lovely. So yeah, I actually called this lot, I think it was Cottagecore as I'm building it. You can see up in the top left. Because I didn't have a name for it there. I didn't have a name for it just then. Sorry if I'm going to be like clearing my throat throughout this whole recording. I hate when people do that. But it's very early in the morning and I'm old. So I'm probably going to be clearing my throat. And I'm using the same idea that I did for the Kyoto house. Or Kyoto, sorry. Kyoto house, where I used the firewood to kind of line the pathway. And I just made it look a little bit more higgledy-piggledy by not doing a straight line. And I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. We need some more details like that. Some like path liners that we can kind of mix up the tones and a bit more driftwood and stuff. I'd love to see it. But yeah, this is me starting on the actual landscaping itself. So this is the grass I was on about. I littered this grass everywhere But I also went through the whole debug catalog and just pulled out some really interesting flowers. Did not know that the debug lavender actually comes in 4 swatches. So they come in 4 different colors. This was the first time I've ever learned that. So we make sure to use a lot of that throughout it. I love landscaping. I'm quite methodical with my landscaping. I don't think it shows. Sometimes it just looks like a random me plonking this there, that there, that there. That will do. Lovely, lovely. But there's a thought process, I promise. I kind of look at the heights and stuff of the landscaping to make sure it's like balanced but irregular, if that makes sense. I want it to be looking as natural as possible. And I love landscaping. We just need more stuff. I want more stuff. I want more stuff to landscape with because I'm bored of all the flowers. I really am. I'd be happy with just a landscaping like stuff pack. I really would. I'd be very happy with a landscaping stuff pack, actually. Why have I never thought of that before? That would be lovely. I would love that, please, Sims team. Thank you very much. So I'm using these little daisies as well, the white daisies. And you can see me like kind of filling up the actual lot itself. I keep the camera still in that shot just so I can sort of see where I do want things to be placed. And then I use a mixture of these debug bushes as well. They're floating up to the high heavens at the minute, but I knew that I was going to go in with a tool mod afterwards. So I put them in the places I want them to be. And then I went into tool mod and put them down manually so they sat into the landscape nicely. The same with all the grass as well. I go over all the terrain with all this grass and I go down with the tool mod and put it down manually. And it just really works. It really works doing it that way for me. I am enjoying the tool mod, but I just don't find it very kind of easy to use. Can we say that? Yeah, I don't find it that easy to use. And I'm so thankful for Twisted Mexi for doing it. I really am. But I just hope with The Sims 5, we've actually got like what Planet Zoo have got with all of the like axes, where we can just like move the terrain up and down and put the landscaping into the terrain. That would just be a dream. It really would. Hopefully that's going to become The Sims 5, but I'm not counting my chickens. Is that the right thing to say? Counting my chickens? Why would you count your chickens? Now there's a question, isn't it? Why the hell would you count your chickens? Oh, God. So, yeah, I use this hedge as well. I've never used this hedge thoroughly. I always find it a little bit cartoonish, but I think it fits in with this build quite nicely. And it's the hedge from Island Living. Comes in a selection of colours. And what I did was do a little patio area on this side here. And then we do... excuse me. And then we do the kind of little growing area where I said this bit here, the soily areas where she's going to be having her blackberries. And I just do the stepping stone thing all the way across so it looks like she's got somewhere to walk across. I'm saying she because I downloaded an absolutely gorgeous sim off the gallery. It was under Cottagecore and she just looked like she would live in a cottage in the middle of nowhere. It just looked lovely. I was very much here for it. So we dragged her in and made her move into here, but I think she's fine. Yes. I was also quite surprised on how well this build actually fit into Brindleton Bay. So it might be interesting to try and go for a different aesthetic with Brindleton Bay rather than the kind of Hamptons vibe houses, those kind of cookie cutter McMansions that you see. No offense to anybody. But I'm going to try and go for a different aesthetic in Brindleton Bay. I'm loving bringing the British element into what I build. It's what I do. I had somebody once comment saying, "Oh, trust a British person to build British houses." I was like, well, do you say that to Americans that build their suburban like homes that you see everywhere? Because I bet you bloody don't. So it's nice. And I've had lots of people from the UK say, oh, I'm really glad to see that you're bringing in like buildings that we're used to seeing, considering that The Sims 4 isn't really, it doesn't really show off a lot of building styles from around the world. So I enjoy bringing what I know into the game. But I'm also happy to play around with what I don't know. For example, my last speed build. Because I had no idea about Japanese builds. But I still enjoyed it. Anyway, don't know why I went off on that tangent. But here we are in the living area. As usual with my interiors, I made sure to kind of decorate everything first and just pull it out. Because it's just, I'd hate watching a speed build where you see someone's like cycling through swatches and it just bores me. So I've done it a little bit differently. And this is what we came up with. Just a really nice, bright white. Very cutesy. It's not my style, really. I like the, it's almost got a Scandinavian vibe as well to it. But I did still really want this to be cozy. And the layout helps that. It really does. The layout does help it. It's even got its own utility room as well. It's got its own utility room. It could actually, I forgot, it could actually be a 3-bedroom house. Because one of the bedrooms is big enough to put a dresser and a single bed in, which is what I've done. Because the other bigger bedroom, not the master suite, like the other bedroom, is what I've used for the crafting room. And you'll see me furnish that as well. You don't see me furnish the small bedroom, nor the toilets, because you know my thoughts on toilets. I'm just bored of doing them. I really am. But you'll see me furnish all of the main rooms in the house. And as always, you can just plonk this into your game and have a little tour around anyway. And if you do get this into your game, make sure you use the Move Objects On cheat. Because I've used a lot of Move Objects in here. Really am. Really have. But yeah, this is the kitchen. Quite a cute layout for the kitchen. Quite a big kitchen for a cottage. So if you wanted, you could even make this into like a little mini dining area. I didn't do a dining area as such because I used an island with stools and stuff, and it was only a single sim living here. Plus she had kind of patio table and chairs and stuff. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to do one. Absolutely not going to do one. So I didn't. But you could. This is a big enough kitchen to be able to get a dining table in if you did want to change it around when you download this. But yeah, cute. Love a bay window in a kitchen as well. It's always nice. I love seeing that like backdrop from the actual kitchen counters. It's very nice. I'd like to see some more bay windows in The Sims 4. We've only got like what, 3 or 4 versions of a bay window, and I think 2 of them are like base game. So I would like to see some more from the Sims team, please. Thank you. And please make snap points on the shelves on the inside of them. It would be ever so helpful because we could put plants on them. And yeah, just make that happen. Thank you. Thank you for coming for my tech talk. Anyway, this is the entrance hall. So I really liked how the entrance hall came out, actually. I think the aesthetics suit the house really nicely. I was very happy with it. Very happy with it indeed. And this is the little utility, like, could you call it a cupboard or room? Utility room off of the kitchen. You kind of have to walk into the lounge and into the kitchen, but only at the end of the lounge, so you don't have to walk through all the furniture and whatnot. So yeah, it's cute. I just really wanted this bit of gameplay to have a washer and dryer and stuff in there. I thought that was quite nice. That nice touch. So this is the main master bedroom. I was a bit like, ugh, what can I do with this layout? But it ends up working. It ends up working really nice. I think all the furniture matches really nicely. I'm really into green at the minute as well. Green is my favorite color. But yeah, I end up using quite a bit of green in here. And it just fits in with the aesthetics. It's very cutesy. As I said, it's not really my style, but I still enjoy it all the same. And this, my loves, is the crafting room. So in my head, this sim who was living here, maybe is like a freelance artist. She does a lot of things with crocheting and knitting and whatnot and sells them on, what is it, Flopsy in The Sims? Yeah, she sells a lot on Flopsy. And maybe she inherited this cottage off of her grandmum after her grandmother passed away. See, I've always got a story in my head with these builds, but that is indeed the best way to build. It really is. But yeah, just putting some finishing touches to it. I do like how this room turned out. Very cute. Fits in well. Anyway, my friends, I'm going to say goodbye now. I will be back on Monday with Let's Build the Worlds. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you soon.